Hi, everybody. Geraldine Rose here, this time with another Christmas card for the Tags and Techniques Hop. The technique that we were trying out this month was the Blackout stencils technique, where typically you take a dark ink and you put it over a stencil and run it through your embossing machine to get an impression. I went a little rogue with it. I also need you to bear with me, please. I'm learning a new program. We're trying to resolve some audio mixing and some lighting issues that we've got. I'm on the third floor, basically our attic, and with less light coming in the window now during the daytime, and then, of course, in the evening, it's dark so much sooner. You'll notice that I've been having shadows on the one side. So we're working through that. And as I said, I'm learning a new program, keeping the mind young. What you do for this is you take a darker ink. Most of the time, it's a black ink. I started out with the purple oxide, Villainous Potion, and I then came in next impression with the Uncharted Mariner. You're going to end off, hopefully, with a black ink. Checking it each time as I'm running it through to see how much of an impression it's given. And here's where I come back in with the black pigment ink. I was using the Altenew Obsidian Black. I did also try this with just a jet black ink as well too, which is a normal ink. The pigment inks take a little bit longer to dry. What you'll do is you'll just dab it down across your stencil. You're going to have a hinge taping on one side so you can flip it back. This is the rogue part, that I came in because I knew I had the oxides, that I spritzed it with some water and I ran it back through. And I didn't think the pigment would react too much to it, but I knew the oxides were, because I wanted a galaxy effect, because we have this starry swirl stencil in the background from the Crafty Canuck. And there you are. I went, oh, that is a cool effect. I've got it to the left there. It's drying. And I'm doing my tag now for this, because for this hop, we showcase the technique with a tag. We have rings or other methods of storing them. I've got mine on a ring so that these techniques you can go back to and refer to them each time that perhaps you're having a little bit of trouble with your crafty mojo, right? It's like, oh, what could I come up with for an idea? So this is why we're doing this. And I've got the stencil down. I'm coloring it. I've already run it through with the black ink, and that part, it came up beautifully. That is your basic Blackout technique tag. Now that the panel that I've had has dried a little bit more, I'm coming back in first with the inks, and I'm coloring it with yellow and orange inks to mimic the stars in the background, that starry swirl, right? Pulling it off, I'm checking it, and I went, okay, good. That took well. They were in place. I brought out the solar paste because I wanted some of them to have a shine on them, like the stars do, that you see that twinkle to them. And I didn't want the sparkle on it. I just wanted a shine. Dabbed down little pieces of solar paste all over, and then swiped her clean and carefully peeled it back, did that stencil reveal, and we've set it to the right to dry. Going back to my tag portion that I've done, which is the basic technique, and we're gluing that down on my tag. I've written the instructions on the back. I'm going to jump over to a die cut for the sentiment. And this was the Merry Christmas script from the Crafty Canucks. I did it in 2 glitters. I'm layering one of the glitters over top of the other, but I'm slightly offsetting it so that we'll have a little bit of a shadow. And the reason why I did this is because I know that there's a lot of busyness going on in the background. In a sense, it's simple, but it's not simple, that there's all that dark from the blackout technique, but there's also the stars that are shining. So I wanted the sentiment to really stand out. While I've got those off to the side, I've got the panel back. I have run it through with the dotted rectangles to crop it down a little bit. And I brought out some purple cardstock. I am putting a star on it from the Peace on Earth stamp set. I am going to emboss that with some rose gold powder from Altenew. I had used my anti-static powder tool on it first too, of course, that it wouldn't spread around to the rest of it. And there's the beauty. There is one of the reasons why we get into crafting. It's just watching embossing powder melt. For the inside of the card, I checked to make certain, of course, that I was horizontal orientation. I like doing my Christmas cards in that manner so that they hang properly. And I brought the angel in because I have a wonderful friend that this is going down to, and I pretty much feel that she is of Christian mind. And I thought she would enjoy this. The angel's going down in a lighter purple, and then I brought in some of the pigment ink from Altenew, the Enchanted Gold. And we put a little bit of shimmer on her stars, and we put a little bit of shimmer on her wings. And now we're going to bring in the sentiment. And we did that one in a really dark purple, but we need to highlight God. So he is getting a little bit of pigment ink, that beautiful gold, just on him. We'll touch him up a little bit. He's been done. And the bottom sentiment, I started out with a yellow because we have the yellow from the stars on the front. And then I came back in with a little bit orange on the bottom because we have the orange on the stars on the front. And blending it out a little bit, just so that's not as harsh of a line. I did come back in at the end as well with some navy to mimic the navy galaxy background that we had. Custom stamps going down on the back, panels going down on the front. Considering the amount of layers of ink it's got on it and the solar paste, it actually didn't work too badly. Now we're just simply setting that Merry Christmas sentiment in the middle, just slapping it down. You can see I've got the star to the right-hand side. I don't know why this was taking me so long to find the right spot. It's my decision-making process. Oh, move it infinitesimally, that little bit of a millimeter just to get it into the correct spot, right? And as I said, there's the star going down. I did put that acrylic block over top of them to hold them down because they're sitting on top of that solar paste, which is raised up a little bit. These were some old star embellishments that I had from somewhere, probably the dollar store. I ran them through my die cutting machine to flatten them so they would glue down a little bit better. And that's the finished card. A little bit of an upgraded spritzed blackout technique, but it's a wonderful purple, dark, navy blue, black card with some pretty shine on it, wonderful sentiment on the inside. I'm setting it off to be my change that I want to see in this world. You guys all go do the same. Thanks so much to everybody that's been watching and liking and subbing, and those that checked out my affiliate links at Scrappin' Down for these products. All right, we're going to catch you next time. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.